What is up, guys? Today we are going to be talking about the best fragrances released in 2023. I'm not here to waste any time. Let's get into the video. Honorable mention to Paco Robanne's Phantom Parfum. This is one of those fragrances that is not really for me, but it's got some really high qualities to it. It's woody, it's got a little bit of spice to it, has a little bit of niche qualities to it as well. It's got like a rhubarb note in there that I'm not really a fan of, but a lot of people enjoy this fragrance right here, so it does deserve to be on this list. So guys, starting off this list, we have Polo Red Parfum. This is a fragrance that is actually just incredibly underwhelming, and the only reason it's on this list is because it technically is wearable. The blood orange is kind of boring, and the other woody notes in there doesn't really make it anything special. It seems like they were really playing it safe here, but they played it so safe that there's just nothing interesting about it. This fragrance is going to sit in that number 10 spot. Sitting at number 9, we have Ralph Club Elixir. Now, similar to the Phantom Parfum, I'm actually not a fan of this fragrance at all, but I can appreciate it. It's got leatheriness, it's got some floral notes, it's got some spices, and all of those things mixed together kind of gives it this dirty, earthy, vegetable kind of feel. Kind of smells like a cooked carrot a little bit in there to me. I'm not sure why, but I don't really care for the smell of this fragrance, but I do appreciate that they brought back the more masculine approach to elixir fragrances, especially since nowadays everybody's taking their elixir and making it super sweet. This I do appreciate. Same with Phantom. I appreciate bringing that back, that traditional masculine kind of smell. Sitting at the number 8 spot, we have Mont Blanc Explorer Platinum. Now, when I first got this fragrance, I hated on it a bit, but that's because I was expecting more. But now that I've seen the other fragrances that have been released this year, it's actually one of the more unique scents. It's not bad by any means, but it's just not for me. It's a sweet violet leaf fragrance, and that's about all there is to it, with a little bit of woody undertones and some aquatic feel. But other than that, there's just nothing, in my opinion, that makes this fragrance deserve a higher spot. So for that reason, it's going to sit at number 8. Not a bad fragrance. Sitting in the number 7 spot, we have YSL Myself. Now, this is one of those fragrances that I believe is definitely just a safe release to compete with the blue fragrances, similar to what Ralph Club is doing. Ralph Club Eau de Parfum, I think, is the similarities I get to this, that orange blossom and bergamot scent kind of come off of that. It's sweet. It's got ambroxan as well, kind of giving it that blue fragrance kind of feel. Other than that, this fragrance is nothing special. The orange blossom is unique, but not the most unique it could be. So I'm going to put this fragrance at number 7. I do like the smell of it though. At number 6, we have Acqua de Parfum. Now, some people say this is just Profumo with a different bottle, but it's actually not. This one doesn't have an incense note in it, so it's not as dark, it's not as rich, it's not as smooth as the actual Profumo, which has sadly been discontinued. This fragrance is still, though, a marine kind of fragrance. It's got a little bit of citruses in there, some floral feeling. It's really not that bad of a fragrance. It's a great everyday pick and probably one of the better, fresher fragrances that have been released this year in general. I will say that they do lack originality. Profumo literally means perfume or parfum in Italian. So, yeah, lazy. At number 5, we have Paco Robanne redeeming themselves with Invictus Victory Elixir. Now, this fragrance is literally just ambers, vanillas, and tonka bean. Nothing really special going on about this fragrance, but I don't care. I like that combination, and for that reason, it's getting the number 5 spot. It's nothing unique. It's nothing special. It's just a sweet fragrance, and I know everyone's going to hate me for that opinion, but I like this fragrance, and it's going to be at number 5. And at number 4, we have my favorite fresh fragrance that has been released this year. We have Coach Green. Now, Coach Green is a wearable green fragrance. Most people hate green fragrances because they don't like patchouli or vetiver, but this stuff, it opens up with a nice fruity freshness from that kiwi note. It dries down into a little bit of rosemary and that moss note, kind of like how Greenly has, but just a slightly fruitier, sweeter version of that. This is fantastic release in my opinion, especially for the price range that you get this fragrance at. Coach Green was an outstanding fresh fragrance release that we needed for the more affordable audience. Now we're getting into the big 3, and I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but Spicebomb Infared Eau de Parfum by Viktor&rolf has taken the number 3 slot because this fragrance is just great in my opinion. It is another masculine spice fragrance, not that typical overly sweet stuff. This stuff right here is beautiful. It's got a leathery note. It focuses more on the actual spices and not the vanilla of a spiced fragrance, and that is just fantastic to me. It is a great everyday scent or something for a more serious occasion. I know some people will disagree with that, but if you lower down your sprays, this is just going to smell like a more masculine approach for fragrances, and I really enjoy that. This deserves its number 3 spot in my opinion. At number 2, you guys knew this was going to be here. We have Le Male Elixir by Paul Gaultier. Now, this fragrance right here is a honey sweetness with vanilla. It's got a little bit of tobacco and ambers in there, and it's really kind of a step above of Invictus Victory Elixir. It's got a minty fresh opening, draws down into that sticky sweet honey, and then kind of this just how the fragrance rests. It's strong, it's what an elixir should be from a fragrance. You mean, when you get an elixir, you're expecting something that's going to be stronger or something that is sweeter and more refined. This stuff is more refined than the original, and it's more refined than Ultramall. Maybe not Le Parfum, but this is definitely a great fragrance that has been released this year. And now we're at number 1, guys. And I know y'all are going to say I'm on a hype train or I'm a hype beast, but my favorite fragrance that has been released this year is Parfums de Marly Althair. Now this fragrance right here basically takes what YSL Myself was trying to do with the orange blossom, and it just improves on it 100-fold in my opinion. The orange blossom comes off more natural. It mixes with that bergamot and fresh opening better. It's got cinnamon in there as well. Of course, spices, praline, a note that you don't really see in fragrances. Kind of smells like the pinnacle of what fall fragrances should be. Tone down the sweetness a little bit, and I think that this would be a perfect 10 out of 10 fragrance. But this has been easily my favorite fragrance of this year. Le Male Elixir and Infrared Eau de Parfum are right there next to it. But guys, that is my list of the best fragrances that have been released in 2023 as of this far. If you agree, leave it down in the comments below. If you disagree, actually leave in the comments what your top 10 fragrances released this year were. But that's all I have for you guys. I will see you in the next video.